All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating story, one that basically frames the entire universe as a giant courtroom drama. And you know what's on trial? Love itself.
So this gets right to the heart of it. The central question that this entire cosmic history revolves around is a universe truly ruled by love even possible? Or is that just a nice idea, a beautiful theory that's, ultimately doomed to fail when you put it into practice? Is it a fatal flaw in the whole system? Okay, so let's set the stage. Our story kicks off in what's described as a perfect universe. Everything is operating under this one single fundamental rule that comes directly from God's throne. But as you might guess, that perfect order, it's about to face a massive challenge. And that foundational rule? It's not what you might expect. It's not power, it's not force, it's selfless love. And this isn't just some feel-good sentiment. No, it's presented as the actual fundamental law that holds everything together. Think of it like the operating system for all of creation. But of course, this law of love gets challenged, and from the inside. A very powerful angel, Lucifer, looks at this system and basically says, I can do better. He wasn't just after a piece of the pie, he wanted the whole thing. He wanted the throne itself, and he had a brand new rule book for the cosmos in mind. So now we know him as Satan, and he launches this direct attack on God's character. And what's his core argument? Simple. The law of love is a total sham. He's claiming that for created beings, we're talking angels, humans, you name it, it's an impossible standard. It's too restrictive, nobody can actually live by it. And this accusation, it creates this huge cosmic dilemma. Think about it. If God just zaps him out of existence, what does that look like? It looks like he's silencing criticism with brute force, right? It would actually prove Satan's point that it's all about power. The doubt would just fester among all the other angels. They'd all be wondering, maybe he had a point. So the question couldn't just be ignored. It had to be answered. And that's why we have this idea of a cosmic trial. It was the only way forward. All right, so the trial needs a venue. The stage is set on a brand new planet, Earth. A new world gets created, and along with it, a new being named Adam. And he's going to be the first key witness in this whole cosmic case. Adam's mission? It was crystal clear, and the stakes were, well, cosmically high. He had one job: prove Satan wrong. The idea was that by governing Earth according to this law of love, he would show everyone, once and for all, that yes, it is possible for a created being to live in perfect harmony with God's design. Well, you can bet Satan didn't wait around. He brought his challenge right to this new world, ready to cross-examine the star witness. So what happened when humanity was finally put to the test? He failed. Yep, and the fallout? It was immediate and it was absolutely catastrophic. So Adam's failure, it was a massive turning point. He basically handed over the keys to the kingdom, his authority. And just like that, the world fell under a new rule, Satan's law of power. And this separation from God, who is the source of all life, well, that's what brought all the suffering, the conflict, and death into the world. I mean, from every conceivable angle, it really looked like Satan had won round one. But wait, the trial wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. Humanity's first representative might have failed, but the story now introduces a champion. The Son of God himself steps into the ring, so to speak. He enters creation as a human, called the last Adam, ready to confront the accuser head-on. And this creates this really beautiful symmetry in the whole story, right? The last Adam is set up to succeed exactly where the first Adam failed. He's not just a champion for humanity. He's the ultimate champion for the law of love itself, the very thing that's on trial. His entire life becomes Exhibit A. It's the living proof. He lived in total submission to that law of selfless love, love for God, love for others. He never sinned, not once. And that proved it was possible for a human being to do it, even when facing the absolute ultimate test, death on a cross. And here's the absolute knockout punch of the argument: his resurrection. It wasn't just some random magic trick or a display of raw power. No, in the logic of this cosmic trial, it was the legal vindication of God's law. See, Satan's whole argument was that the law of love leads to death, but the resurrection, it proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that it actually leads to life. Okay, but hold on. Proving it's possible for the Son of God, that's huge, but it's not quite enough to win the whole case. Remember Satan's original accusation? It was about created beings, that they couldn't live this way. So to completely shut down that claim for good, the victory had to be repeatable. It had to be shown to work in ordinary, everyday, flawed human beings. And in this story, Jesus is called the first fruit. He's like the prototype, the first model off the line. He's the very first human to conquer death through perfect obedience. But he's also the promise, the guarantee, really, of a much, much bigger harvest to follow.
Now, the book of Revelation actually gives a specific number for this group, 144,000. And look, whether you take that number literally or as a symbol, their role in this story is crystal clear. They are the final, conclusive body of evidence. They are the prosecution's star witnesses, all of them together, in this cosmic trial.
So what's their mission exactly? Well, first, they're empowered by the very same spirit that was in the last Adam. And with that power, their entire life's purpose is to live out that same law of love. It's their collective lives, lived together, that serve as the final, undeniable proof. The proof that God's law isn't some heavy burden, it's the actual source of life. This is the evidence that finally silences Satan's accusation for good.
So, with the main question of the trial finally answered, and the accuser's case completely dismantled, the story starts moving toward its grand finale, the restoration of all things. And this final sequence is where everything gets wrapped up. Once the evidence from these first fruits is all in, Satan can be justly judged and removed from the picture. After that, there's a universal judgment, and it's all based on a simple question. Which law did you live by? Love or power? And then the final enemy, death itself, is destroyed for good. And that's what leads to the complete restoration of the universe. The ultimate endgame here is a universe where that long, drawn-out conflict between love and power is finally over. Done. A universe where every single part of creation exists in perfect, willing harmony with its creator. A place ruled entirely and forever by the now triumphant law of love. And that's how the story wraps up. It ends with this incredible vision of a perfected creation, finally free from the conflict that has defined its entire history. The original design isn't just put back the way it was. It's been proven, it's been fulfilled, and now it's secured for all eternity. Which, of course, brings us to one last, really profound question to think about. After this incredibly long cosmic trial, the law of love wins. It's vindicated. But what does it actually mean to exist in a universe where the alternative, the law of power, of selfishness, of evil, isn't just defeated, but isn't even a possibility anymore? What does that world even look like?